the satisfaction of your growth propel you into a life that you never thought was possible. Good morning, everybody. We are heading to the gym right now. We're going to hit a nasty diabolical chest day. Chest and shoulders. It's going to be a good one. We're giving abs a break for today. Hitting lower back and abs yesterday in the same time period might have not been a great idea. All right, I'll tell you, I'm a little sore either way. So if I stand a certain way, my back is sore, and if I stand the other way, my abs are sore. So I've been sitting down a lot since that happened. I'm trying not to put too much strain on my back right now, but I believe it did cause some growth. So there's that. But let's get back into the topic of the video. Just wanted to give you guys a little starting blurb there. So, satisfaction of growth. It's kind of something I've coined myself. I mean, it's not, I don't know if they're going to be quoting it in the history books, but be satisfied with your growth and allow it to motivate you even further, right? So we can get so caught up in this grind culture of trying to keep grinding and keep achieving better and further, and we're forgetting to be proud of where we're at already, right? We're forgetting to be proud of the steps we've taken along the way. So, first and foremost, I would recommend everybody to try to take time to really pinpoint what is better about you today than yesterday, than a week ago, than a month ago, a year ago. And if you're not finding anything, I don't think you're doing it right. I think, and if you aren't finding anything, maybe this is your starting motivation to think about the fact of that. In a year from now, when I look back, how much growth do I want to have achieved? Do you want to look back a year from now and think you're still in the same place as you are right now? Probably not. So, little side note there, but if you can't look back over the last few years of your life, weeks of your life, months of your life, whatever, and you can't see any changes or growth, then you need to be doing something to cause that, right? But this isn't what I'm preaching about. So remember to look back and be proud of the growth that you've made, and remember where you once were, and remember where you could have been if you didn't make the changes you made. Remember how deep and how dark you could have gone in your life if you didn't make changes that you made at a certain point. Even if you're not right where you want to be in your life, you're not satisfied with the completed whole picture, remember to still be grateful and be conscious of the growth you have made, because that is what's going to give you motivation to keep going. I may be lucky in this aspect, but I find it very easy for myself to, not always, but recently I find it very easy for myself to be proud of the growth I've made and be happy with where I'm going, where everything's heading, and really have hope for the future and really believe that I can make this into something. I can make everything I'm doing into something more than what it is. And this comes from almost every day looking in the mirror and seeing something new and different about myself physically, and then also mentally, just starting to really take note of how much I'm changing and take note of how much even this has been helping me. It may seem like I'm talking to you guys about how to do stuff or a tutorial of sorts, but in reality, this is kind of a therapy form for me. I mean, I'm being able to talk out and flesh out so many of the ideas that I carry in a way that really feels like it's conducive to my growth. I feel like it's making me better, it's making me smarter, and I'm able to process information and process the things I see in my life so much more beautifully. I guess that's the first word that came to mind. I don't know if that's exactly what I mean, but everything that I see in a day now, I take with so much more joy, and I see everything around me as so much more beautiful and so much more enjoyable. And I'm starting to really enjoy living life for the sake of living it. And I think that's really coming from being able to consistently remember how much I'm growing and be grateful for how much I'm growing. And, struggle with that, which I have in the past, I just want to give you a conscious reminder to keep an eye on how your growth is going. And I've said it in a previous video, I think, take progress pictures of your body and of your mind. Remember the progress you've made mentally. Try to really think about all the things that have changed in you and how you think differently, because I promise you're not the same as you used to be. We are constantly evolving creatures, and we can forget how we used to be. I very often have the occurrence of having a flash realization of how different I am than I used to be. And even from years ago, from my childhood, as early as being a little tiny kid, the mass jumps of growth I've made in my life, and the differences in who I am and how I respond and how I act is just been crazy to see. It comes in strong, really, especially when you come across an old friend, when you come across a person that used to know you. I've been told many times by people that I've seen that I used to know that tell me, through all stages of my life, hasn't been as much recently, but through all stages of my life, I've had people express to me, wow, you're so much different than you used to be. And it's odd for me to think about, because I feel like I'm the same. You live every day in your shoes, so you feel like you're the same person. And it can be easy to forget how much you're growing and changing. And like I said, being able to be conscious of that is something that's going to motivate you to go way further. And if you're not steadily that is a beautiful house. Hey, you're not steadily keeping kind of notes of how much you're growing, it's easy to get discouraged and forget what you're working for. And you know what I mean? You can start to feel like it's not all worth anything, and you can give up, which I don't think you should do. So always try to be conscious of how much you're growing. I think I've kind of repeated myself a lot in this. I'm going to try to get to a new point here, but just once you understand that feeling of the satisfaction of seeing how much you've changed and grown, and then you feel how much that motivates you to keep doing it, I mean, it's like nothing else. Nobody else's motivation, nobody else's words can empower you in such a way that your own can empower you. Talked about this before, with the validation of others and the validation of yourself. Your own self-talk and your own validation is so much more powerful than anybody else's. And if your own self-talk isn't keeping an accurate record of how much you're changing and how much you're growing, then you're going to be feeling discouraged, and you're not going to have the ambition and the motivation to go where you want to go. So if you're feeling like you're at a slow point in your journey, you feel like you're not really making a lot of changes in whatever you're chasing after, whatever you're trying to grow towards, take time and write down something, sit and think about it. Just take a few minutes off from distracting yourself like we all do every day. So I'm sure some of you out there are better than I am. I'm pretty terrible when it comes to this problem of consistently distracting myself and not allowing myself time to really think and understand the information that my brain's constantly taking in. I'm trying to get better about that, and we'll talk about that more in a future video. I'm still kind of on that journey myself, trying to figure that stuff out. But take some time to really slow down and push away some distractions and make yourself bored a little bit, and just take some time to really think back about your life. Think about the things you've done wrong, the mistakes you've made, and don't look at them in the light of punishing yourself. feeling guilt and shame, but feel compassion for the person you used to be, and look at the person you used to be like you would look at your child. Somebody that you've put your heart and soul into raising and helping become the man or woman they want to be. Look at your past self with that same love in your eyes, that same compassion of something that you created, something that you helped build, because that is the truth. You are kind of your own child if you think about it in that way. You know what I mean? Especially with lack of comfortable parenting situations growing up, I'll say, to say the least. You know what I mean? A lot of us, I believe, have developed this independence and kind of raised ourselves in certain ways, and we've made ourselves into the people we want to be. So, taking time to look back and look at your past mistakes and the things you've gone through, and the worst that you've been, the worst type of person that you've been in your past. Look at yourself with the compassion that you would look at a child with, your child, and just allow yourself a little faith and a little love to remember that you didn't mean it, right? You didn't know any better. You were just a kid, and then take those thoughts and kind of transfer them forward and look at the differences, compare, make a mental Venn diagram of who you used to be and who you are now, and look at what is the same and what is different, and remember that too, to be conscious of the things that you've held with you that matter to you. Be conscious of the fact that I never lost that spark, right? I never lost that love for this. And I'm so glad that through everything bad I went through, I never lost the love in my heart. I never lost my ability to feel joy about this subject or this passion. You know what I mean? So in both ways, be conscious of your growth and be conscious of the things that you've held on to, and be proud of both of those. And be grateful for where you are. Remember to live your life with some love for everything around you. I think we all get so caught up in this world nowadays, and you kind of forget once in a while how batshit crazy it all is. Everything that we have, everything that civilization has grown to be, everything in history that we've done, how the fuck did that come out of nothing? You know what I mean? How the fuck did all of this just spawn onto some rock in space, right? So try to take life with a little more meaning, a little more love towards everything. And be conscious of just how crazy it is that you are here today with everything that you are, everything that you love, everything that you care about, your passions, everything that you've done in your life, your achievements. Remember to think about how crazy it is that all even exists in the first place, right? And that's something that'll get your mind rolling in a way that I believe is better for you. You gotta get a little hippy-dippy with your thoughts once in a while. You gotta get a little more zen. And people get this idea of zen as just constantly meditating, chilling like a, whatever. I think it's more just in being able to take in and encompass the balance of everything in our life and understand the weight and gravity of everything. Simultaneously understand how important everything is and how unimportant everything is. It's not nihilism versus absurdism, it's both, and that's the balance of life. And this is getting a good bit off topic, but just try to be conscious of those thoughts. Do some research if you don't understand those things, nihilism and absurdism, and try to kind of put that filter over your life when you look at stuff once in a while, and just think about the balance of it all, how much everything matters simultaneously, while also everything doesn't matter simultaneously. I'm going to make another full video about that concept soon. Keep an eye out for that if you're interested. I'm going to try to realize I'm getting into a whole different video. But yeah, just backpedal it a little bit. Be conscious of how much you've grown, how much you've stayed the same, and what things matter to you now that didn't before, and what things matter to you now that did before. Pretty simple concept. I think I've already talked too long about it. You guys get the message. You get the idea. But I just hope everybody can take something from that. I hope you guys can all look at your own lives a little bit deeper and just be proud of yourself. Always remember to be proud of yourself and be grateful for what you have in the life around you and enjoy it for what it is. You can't change it. You can over time. You can with work and effort. You can change your life into something different for yourself. But in the baseline, the life you are in now, the life you're living now, it was meant for you. You're meant to be right where you're at. You're meant to be experiencing exactly what you're experiencing. So in the while of doing that, or in the process of doing that, in the process of understanding that you're right where you need to be, you're experiencing exactly what you need to experience, find joy in it then. Find joy in the fact that, everything's perfect. Everything's exactly how it should be. If you're living this situation one way or another, rather do it with a happy, grateful, proud mindset than with this sad, defeated, cynical mindset. I'm going to wrap this up here a little bit. I'm talking a little too much about too many different things. I might be filming a second video here today just for shits and giggles and posting it up also because I've got a lot on my mind today. We'll get off that topic there. Talk a little bit about everything that's going on with the gym side of things. So everybody who's been waiting for that part of the video, tune in now. Get off your phone and actually focus on what we're talking about next. So yesterday we hit a refeed day. We hit back, we hit abs. It was a really phenomenal lift. I felt really strong. Felt super pumped up, very full in the muscles. And last night I slept great. Went to bed real comfy. I think a combination of the crash from the pre-workout, because I double scooped. And yeah, I probably had about 600 to 700 milligrams of caffeine yesterday, which is kind of a lot. So I crashed pretty hard last night. I felt tired. And I also went to sleep with a very full stomach. Had a lot of food for the day. So just that's a little recap of how yesterday went. So if you're looking into doing a refeed day and any of those things sound good to you, maybe give it a try. Try to remember that one day off the diet isn't going to destroy your whole cut, right? Now, if you keep that mentality, you will destroy the cut because you're just going to keep telling yourself, well, it's just one day, well, it's just one day, well, it's just one day, over and over, and then it's how many days, right? So, but just remember once in a while, you're here to enjoy yourself, right? You're here to enjoy the life you're living. So if the joy of sticking to that diet hardcore and never failing and getting to where you want to be as fast as possible is what's joy for you, then do that, But if you're making yourself miserable in your diet plan and what you're trying to do for yourself, just remember to enjoy it a little bit, man. Eat a little sweet treat once in a while, go over your calories once in a while. I feel like I'm disrespecting the great Samson Sulek here with, kind of going against what he said about, well, do you really want it? Are you really locked in? Or are you going to keep cheating yourself? But I'm going to be the other side of the scale. If there's an angel and there's a devil here, I'm going to be the other side of the scale a little bit and just kind of remind you, you're here to enjoy yourself. You're here to enjoy your life. The six-pack will still come, right? If you eat one extra little sweet treat once in a while, the six-pack will still come. It may take a little longer, whatever. But if, making yourself miserable to achieve the gratification of being ripped, it's not great for me. You know, I'm trying to enjoy my life, and I'm not a professional bodybuilder. I'm not prepping for a show. So I'm going to enjoy myself a little bit when I can. But, you know, as of today, we are back on the diet. We are back locked in, back to looking at about 1,700 calories for the day. I'm no longer intermittent fasting. I'm going to be going back to work soon here, probably within the next few days. I do concrete work, if anybody's curious. And, you know, for working, I want to stay a little more carved up and stay a little more full naturally. So I'm going to cut off the intermittent fasting, and I'm going to try to start eating square meals throughout the day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Trying to keep myself full throughout the day more rather than eating in this period and then kind of starving the rest of the day. It was really good for the fat loss at the time, and because I've been sedentary, not being at work right now, you know, it was conducive to some good stuff. But as of right now, we're kind of locking back in, and I'm expecting to be eating a little more calories coming up here once we're back to work. I'm probably going to be eating a little more, like 2,000 calories a day, right at or above a little bit 2,000, because I do not want to be getting caught, you know, lacking on the job site. I don't want to be caught running out of energy because I'm trying too hard to worry about fat loss. With the work I do, I burn plenty of calories anyways. The fat loss is going to happen. I could eat at maintenance calories and still burn fat doing the work I do. So, you know, we're gonna be a little easier on ourselves now that we're back to it. Not a whole lot more to say there. Just kind of wanted to give you guys a rundown of kind of my diet plans and my ideas for everything going forward right now. We are probably gonna go to, I was gonna do a 30-day cut. Just a simple 30-day aggressive cut and really kind of get myself, fuck off, whoa! Goddamn semi fucking won't stay in his lane, dude. I almost died. You guys almost witnessed that live. Not live, but you know, fuck. This was about to be a found footage documentary right here. Holy shit. What the fuck was I talking about? Alright, so, what was I talking about? Lost my train of thought, man. I'm not sure what I was talking about. Oh, so we were gonna do a 30-day aggressive cut, just strip some fat off, get ourselves to a comfortable space, and then we were gonna start right back on the bulk. I'm realizing now I don't think 30 days was long enough. I'm finally starting to see bicep veins. I'm starting to see abs showing. And I don't want to cut that off too early and lose it. So we're going to go to a 45-day cut. I think day 45 will be the final day. And I've had this in my mind for a while now. These are the big plans. Day 45, the final day of the cut, is going to be the Omega Ultimate Cheat Day. And by that, I mean breakfast, McGriddles. Probably 2 McGriddles, right? And then for lunch, we're probably going to be going by a Taco Bell, and you know, I'm not sure there's going to be any limits to that one. I'm not a fan of Taco Bell most of the time, just because of the health of their food, the quality of their food. Their beef is not up to par exactly, and I don't think eating there regularly is good for you at all. But that shit tastes goddamn amazing. So we are going to Taco Bell for lunch that day, and we're gonna have probably a good crunch wrap, a quesadilla, cheesy gordita crunch, a couple tacos. I don't give a fuck what. We're going ham. It's the one time in a while that I'm gonna eat Taco Bell. It's gonna be good. So I may regret my actions, but I don't care. Then for dinner, we are heading over to Chili's. I'm having myself a fat cheeseburger from Chili's because I mean, that shit's just, God, you guys along with it. We're gonna make kind of a little vlog, little full day of eating vlog for the cheat day. Kind of show you guys what I got going on, and hopefully on that same day, I will also be able to vlog a sweet looking mediocre six-pack. Not mediocre. No, this is gonna be a good six-pack. I'm not putting those negativities on myself. All right. That day, I'm gonna be walking around with a sweet ass six-pack, bicep veins, and I'm gonna eat all that food, and I'm gonna fucking enjoy it. And that is going to kick off the bulk. So that will then be when the bulk is in effect. And I can't see how this isn't gonna be amazing from there on out. So yeah, stay tuned for bulk season. This is gonna get good. And I've got some good ideas on some food we're gonna be putting together, and some meal plans that I'm gonna be following, and really trying to do a good lean bulk. No, you can't lean bulk. Argue with the wall. I don't want to hear it. I am bulking in such a manner that I'm trying to minimize body fat, not completely cut it out, right? This is impossible. So when I say lean bulk, don't get all at me about it, all right? It's not that serious. I'm just bulking in such a manner where I'm trying not to get fat, okay? So yeah, that's going to be the case. I'm going to stop yapping here. We're getting pretty close to the gym. I still got to drink my pre-workout because I fucking forgot, like I do every time. So, yeah, I mean, that's about it, guys. I'm going to slow down on talking about it there. I'm going to talk to you guys in the car after and give a recap of what we did in there. But I'm expecting this to be a really good chest and shoulders day, and not much else to it. So I'll see you guys in the car after. What's going on, everybody? We're back in the car. We just finished up chest day. Really good pump there. I'll put the pump check in. We were not able to film any clips of my sets. Just trying to be respectful of everybody else in the gym. So, a little bit of a recap. We started off with some incline dumbbell press, just warming everything up. A little lighter weight, just focusing on the form, getting the stabilizing muscles warm. And made our way over to the pec deck. Hit one warm-up set and then 3 working sets there. And then over to the cable flies, hit 3 working sets there. Then onto the hammer strength shoulder press machine. Did about 3 sets there. And then over to cable lateral raises. Those are feeling really good comparatively. I really like at the very bottom of the rep, there's still tension on the delt because the cable's pulling horizontally rather than with a dumbbell where the weight goes away when you get to the bottom. Feeling a really good stretch deep in the point of the delt here where it ties in, feeling that burn all the way down in there instead of just kind of up on that upper portion. So that feels super good. Then on to some rear delt on the pec deck. and finished off with some dumbbell lateral raises, just really pumping them out. I'll be honest, it was for vanity purposes. I wanted the delts to look good and plump for the pump check. So yeah, I mean, that was the routine for the day. And then to finish off, I really wasn't ready to be done with my workout yet, but I didn't want to overdo it for chest to shoulders, so I did some static holds with as heavy a dumbbells as I could. I started with the 80s and I held them until just about failure, set them down, 70s, one right after another, grabbed the 70s, held to failure, grabbed the 60s, grabbed the 50s, and then went from the 50s to the 30s. And then by the time I was done there, I mean, my hand, I looked like a Lego man. My hand wouldn't move, you know? So that was phenomenal. Really got the forearms good and pumped. I've heard a lot of good things about static holds for the forearms. I've heard that the forearms specifically will grow from isometric holds. So we're going to try to implement those, not necessarily just on arm days, but on as many days as we can without overdoing it, because I really want the forearms to blow up. And then after that, did some scapular push-ups, really getting that serratus anterior worked, trying to help with some of the scapular winging. I have a little bit of it, and I'm trying to mediate that before it gets too bad. And that was pretty much it, guys. And then went and changed, and now we're back in the car. So that's all up to there. I don't have a lot to add on to the first portion of the video. I got, I think, the message out pretty good, and I hope you guys took that all to heart and can implement something into your life in a good way. You know, I'm not out here saying that everything I say is 100% the best advice, the best everything. I'm not some guru. I don't have a degree in any sort of life literacy, emotional intelligence, any of that. I just personally want to share the way that I understand things in a way that I hope other people will understand and can help everybody grow together. So, you know, take what you will from these videos and leave what you will from these videos. It's not a total package, right? You can take any one of these videos or even any part of any one of these videos and take it into account, and the rest you can throw away if it's not for you. So I hope some of what I said today was valuable to you and the previous videos. And I think that's about all I can say for today. I don't want to yap on too long. The first section was pretty long. So yeah, great chest pump, great shoulder pump, a little bit of forearm work, feeling good. I'm gonna head myself home and try to relax until around about dinner time, make some food, and I think it might be an early night to bed for me. I woke up at about 4 a.m. this morning, not on purpose. I just kind of woke up and didn't feel like going back to sleep. So I just got up, showered, shaved, took care of myself, and kept the day going. But I am already feeling like I'm going to be pretty tired after dinner. So enough yapping about that. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much for watching, and see y'all tomorrow.